So, Aries, you guys are going to feel the North Node moving into your 12th house in the whole sign of Pisces. This is going to represent your subconscious, some secrets, a place of rest, hidden wealth, isolation, going far away places, and the 12th is also known as a place of self undoing as well. What does that mean on a financial impact? Well, this could look like some real estate investment for some of you. So this can bring opportunities related to hidden or undiscovered assets for some of you, possibly family properties or unexpected inheritances in some cases. You might be inclined to sell a property or to reinvest in something like a spiritual retreat, putting money in property that's in a faraway place or a different country from where you live, okay? Or some eco-friendly properties, things that are friendly towards nature or the environment. There's also an element of social responsibility here. So any investments into green or sustainability assets that might align with your values could be supported, but there's some caution here to be wary of any deceptive offers because that can be some of the elements that we need to be careful of with Pisces, right? That can blur financial clarity. So Pisces, especially if well placed, if you have Jupiter in a good placement, can talk about using your hunches or intuition to make good business decisions so long as the Pisces house is in good shape. And this is a general reading, so just keep that in mind. If you've noticed in your financial history you've been deceived before, you might want to take heed as you're listening to this now. Okay? So research thoroughly before signing any contracts with that placement. Then you're going to have Neptune joining this North Node in your 12th house around February 7th. The financial impact of this can be a blend of both idealism and confusion. So there's going to be a strong focus on long-term emotional or spiritual investments as these two energies combine. So the potential for investing abroad increases here for you, Aries. And that again speaks to retreats, wellness-related adventures, an Airbnb in a different country, a hotel or a vacation-like experience, yoga retreat, that type of thing, or just planning an experience for some spiritual time away, like a Vipassana, 10 days, 14 days away, an ashram kind of a visit type of thing. Maybe you're going to go do mushrooms for 2 weeks in the mountains or something like that. Neptune can encourage eco-friendly real estate adventures like that, but it could also blend confusion, especially if you're dealing with, let's say, language barriers or culture barriers from getting property in a different culture or country. These are things I actually talk about with some clients, but long-term planning is key here. We just need to be careful because with Neptune, it can bring some fog or confusion. The way this alignment is looking, though, is that if you have patience, and it's a holistic, spiritual, compassionate, Neptunian type of endeavor involving film or caring or compassion or taking care of others or some creativity. As long as you're patient about it and you're detailed about the planning, you can likely succeed with this endeavor. All right. Now we have the 24th of February where Mars finally starts to move direct in the fourth house of Cancer for you. Fourth house again is also real estate. Family, home, assets, the mother, the womb, the bedroom, the private places, things that we don't necessarily expose to the public, our foundations, that's all the fourth house. The financial impact of this for you, Aries, is yet again real estate but also shared resources, right? With people you live with, people whom you consider to be your current foundation. So this could be marriage partner if you're married, have a spouse, or if you still live with your family and parents, whoever you consider or deem to be family who lives with you in the home, any resources you share with them, this can include them also. Mars wants to energize family-related investments here. So long as things are good in terms of family situations, like you've got a good second house, or if there's anything related to the second house, placed in the 5th, 8th, or the 11th, and these things look good, then working with family can potentially benefit you here as it relates to real estate purchases, or refinancing, especially if you bought a home in the past a year or two while rates were high. There's been a recent rate cut, so a refi could be a very useful idea for some of you guys in early 2025. You could renegotiate better mortgage terms in that situation. Some of you guys can improve insurance related situations, which again could be refinance or just better insurance terms, whether it's whole life insurance policies or infinite banking or whatever your situation might be in terms of large amounts of money tied to other people beyond yourselves, like markets or big pools of money. That's the eighth house component there. You might need to address any family insurance policies, that could be a thing, or any health or property insurance or any inheritance matters there as well, might need to be cleared up. Okay. Now, Mars is spending 6 months in the sign of Cancer since the end of 2024. So, this could have caused you to have to move or change your home or travel away from home. Anything like that that comes up in your life, Aries, is an opportunity to make more money, is supported with Mars and Cancer. I would encourage you to pursue those things if you haven't already towards the end of 2024. It's a good way to start the year. Okay, if there's any disagreements or arguments or conflicts at home, this might inspire you to leave the home anyway. This could give you work, jobs, or positions overseas, temporary contracts to do work away from the homeland. Okay, so this could be beneficial and lucrative as well. One of the things that could be very useful to think about is, did I have any financial lucrative opportunities that came up for me around April of 2006 or around June or so of 1987, if you were alive around that time? These are similar energies to when Mars was in Cancer at those points in your life, if you were around for those experiences. So if you had work opportunities that went well in terms of leaving the house, then Mars in Cancer can repeat that as well. Okay. And then to add to that, you guys also have been experiencing the year now with Pluto in Aquarius, full term, full circle. Okay, so it's spent so much time since 2008 in the sign of Capricorn, really transforming your career and your purpose. How can you be more wealthy? How can you be more powerful and dominant in what you do? Okay, there was a visit there in September of 2024, right, to help clarify any assumptions that you've made about your career and the lessons that you've learned while Pluto has spent so much time in Capricorn. Okay, so what it wants to do is continue to take the connections that's made in the 11th house and bring you powerful benefactors and friends there. Okay, so this will help flow positively towards you in the physical body. So actually getting yourself and your initiative involved in the endeavors as it relates to your careers by your long-term friends, your goals, and building that together, knowing what your vision is, knowing what you care about, and working with people who share that same alignment over the next 20 years, Aries, and having that be a part of your communication and your online presence is going to be key for your career. So get crystal clear, Aries. What are my values? What do I care about? Who's like-minded? And how can I work with them or collaborate with them? Are there social networking events or groups that I can attend where those people are there? Whether that's platforms, physical, online, or otherwise, get yourself out there and get connected so that can help you from a Plutonian power-based perspective with your career. All right. So then, March 14th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in your sixth house in the sign of Virgo. That's going to talk about work and health routines. Financial impact to that is going to bring transformations in your work environment and your daily routines. So the way you've been approaching your 24-hour chunks and your day-to-day is going to shift as of March of 2025. And this is going to give you an opportunity to step in a more structured or more leadership role, industries like healthcare, analytics, administration, tax, bookkeeping, keeping documents together, kind of zooming in on the details and keeping track of things for many of you. And this will help impact your long-term financial security. So if you're looking for work around March and such a job opportunity comes up, I would grab it because it could be very useful for you. Also for hiring such people to bring them into your organization if you're looking for that. So from an investment perspective, things like biotechnology, if you're into biotech, healthcare, wellness related sectors, these are things you want to be looking at. Any technologies that zoom in deep in the body, particularly the intestines, at the microscopic level to see any markers of wellness, things like that. Those are the types of investments, companies, sectors, and ideas that would do, or even job opportunities that would do well for you guys during this time. Then we have Saturn entering your first house in Aries. This is going to be a big deal. This is going to cool off the body a little bit, make it a little bit rigid, a little bit stiffer than it was when Saturn was in the 12th. So you might want to spend a little more time in the sun, Aries, drink a little bit more lemon water, things like that. The first house is going to reflect the self and your personal drive and how you go after things. So the long-term strategy from the financial impact is, are we being financially disciplined? And are we being personally responsible with our money? Particularly as that relates to the physical care of the body as well. So anything that requires education, savings, children's funds, creative business ventures, being patient, these are the keywords while Saturn is spending 2.5 years in the sign of Aries from 2025 to 2027. So we're going to need to be more cautious in our investments, okay, Aries? And this is of May of 2025. So if you're into stocks, you're into crypto, you might have noticed that if your portfolio was up in the beginning of the year, that things were in a little bit of a different situation by May. We don't want to be impulsive with our financial decisions anymore at this point, Aries. We want to be level-headed and disciplined and more Capricornian with the more tried and true approach at this point of the year. Okay, book a session with me if you want to look at your particular individual chart and we want to get into the weeds about your portfolio, how that relates to the market. But just in general, Aries, this is going to be a time where your financial approach and just your approach to life in general has to become more disciplined and more responsible. And in June, we're going to have Jupiter enter Cancer in the fourth house. So a lot of fourth house activity for our Aries, okay? Real estate, family, joint resources. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So those things are going to be expanded by the great benefic Jupiter. So shared resources, real estate. You might experience growth in property investments, particularly family homes or inheriting properties or any real estate investments, particularly rental properties will continue to do well at this time. So one of the interesting things that I've seen from my perspective is a rotation from money, if you are into markets, in Q1, maybe a little bit in Q2 of next year, Aries, from things like crypto or stocks into things like real estate in the second half of 2025, when the real estate market might be more affordable. Not financial advice, but this is lining up very nicely with what I've seen for Aries. Then we have Uranus moving into Gemini in the third house in July. The third house represents communication, trade, and technology, and Uranus is the planet of revolution, change, disruption, and innovation, and bringing new things to the surface that can be quite a little bit unsettling or uncomfortable for the status quo. So tech investments from the financial side, new partnerships in technology. Are we hearing about mergers, new technology, the new Neuralink, new AI-based, technologically based disruptive technologies? Are we hearing those come through? Right? NVIDIA, Zoom, Netflix, Microsoft, how are these companies doing in the market around this time? If they've fallen since the second quarter, are they starting to pick up in price? This could be an interesting thing to see throughout 2025. So Uranus's influence can bring unexpected financial opportunities in fintech, AI, or the blockchain sectors, things to look out for. Now, trade agreements is going to be an interesting thing if you run a business that is involved with that or you're in the government sector. Legal affairs, especially in business contracts, could go under some volatility with this energy. Some unexpected shifts in partnerships, trade agreements could be a factor. This could even be seen on a global world scale, as Gemini is the United States seventh house. So we might see things like trade agreements or tariffs or sanctions shifting as global tensions are likely to get more complicated. Now we have the September full moon eclipse in Pisces. The impact of that is going to be uncovering hidden or spiritual wealth, such as family assets or overlooked investment opportunities. It's going to be a good time to address any emotional attachments to any resources and decide if they align with your financial goals. So any property or assets you inherited or any emotional connections, these could be potentially sold or reinvested into longer term financially stable ventures for you guys, depending on your charts. And then we have the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo, which again is your sixth house. So we're seeing a lot of the same houses lighting up for you guys throughout the year, Aries. So there's a bit of consistency between the sixth, the fourth, and the third, okay? So these houses are lighting up, and this is again going to talk about daily work, health, and the employment sector. So the financial impact here again is this is going to be a perfect time for any career-related new beginnings. So starting a new job, very likely for a lot of you Aries. And this is going to be a project that can improve your long-term financial outlook, especially if you're of service, helping people out, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and paying fine attention to the work that you're type of doing. any employment related investments, such as, like Upwork, or like these work related, any work related travel, or anything related to the element of being of service to people in your work, that can definitely pay off in the future, particularly if there's any green energy projects with Neptune, and then creative ventures with Venus and Aries. These things are going to be very supportive to your investments and the work that you do. And then inheritance planning with Jupiter looks very good as well. So any shared finances or inheritances, blending money together, these transits really encourage Aries to focus on financial discipline, long-term investments, and strategic partnerships. These are the three keys for your financial success in 2025. The thing you're going to want to avoid, Aries, is impulsive moves in highly speculative markets, especially when Saturn enters your first house. After that, you want to be very kind of lean and strict and consciously minded about what's actually going to make money, what's tried and true, especially things like real estate, as the rest of the year plays out through creative ventures and as well innovative tech partnerships. So with that, check out my yearly report if you are looking for things like ETFs or stocks to invest in. If you want me to dive into your particular chart's energy and see what works best for your chart financially, reach out to me. If not, you have enough here to kind of plan out the financial trajectory of 2025. And with that, be well. One love to you, Aries, and peace.
And whenever I do the research, for Sama, and when we do it together, I go back and do the research 10 years back. So it is a lot of work behind. The way I wrote, and actually I'm not going to talk about each individual sign. Sama, you're going to actually summarize that for them right now in this video. But I wrote about 45 pages for each individual sign. The best is to purchase that for your rising sign, but actually you can purchase it all and give it to your friends as well if you would like to. But the other thing is, I would recommend that to purchase it for your rising, after your sun sign, and after your moon sign. So on the other hand, what I really wanted to say over here, you already talked about the career, and but this is really finance based. It is, guys, I went really deep into to giving you opportunity to watch out for market and which companies to watch for, which companies to invest in, and I checked it each of them individually. So a lot of sweat and blood went into this.